Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. Have a message for you today. This is going to be message 3 of 8. So I'm doing kind of like a series right now where I'm getting 8 different messages from 8 different spirit guides over the course of 8 days. This is not 8 days in a row, but it's going to be 8 messages all during the month of August, which is also the number 8. This is related to the 888 portal, which is August 8th, 2024. These messages will extend past that date, as does the portal itself. The energetic portal lasts through about the 12th, and these messages might even go past that. Who knows? That 888 portal is so energetically significant this year that energy has actually been present. That abundance or manifesting or um, creation, that push for new energy has been there this entire year. It's just kind of peaking right now during August. And even honestly, Metatron was telling me July, August, and September, the energy's peaking. So even though the portal typically ends on the 12th, it's the whole month and beyond for sure. So 8 messages, 8 days, 8 guides. This is message number 3. If you didn't see the first 2 messages, go back and look through my videos because these are fascinating messages. These are guides I don't normally speak to. These are guides that I'm like getting to know through doing these messages. And the messages are relevant. The messages are applicable to all of us in different ways. And they're just completely different from each other. So go check those out, get that information from them. Today's message is from an individual called White Tara, is how I'm pronouncing it. White Tara. I guess it could be White Tara. Tara? She might. I'm going to call you White Tara. Is that okay? I feel like Tara is too close to referencing Gaia, and then it gets kind of confusing. So we'll say White Tara. So she is I had to Google this. I did not know who she was. She is a Buddhist goddess associated with compassion and associated with the rainbow. So that's what I Googled about her. You'll find, if you watch my videos, you'll see that there is a huge difference between what you can Google on the internet and actually getting to know these guides and getting to feel their energy and getting to know who they are. There's so much more to them than the little snippets that are out there on the internet about them. So I started off with her with asking to feel her energy just so I can start getting associated with who she is. And this is why it's important to learn how to feel energy, because when you feel energy, you can feel light, you can feel darkness, you can feel love, you can feel when someone's confident, you can feel when they are I don't know, all of the personality traits that you can pick up on from talking to someone and watching their face. You can feel those in energy. So if you don't know how to feel energy yet, I have a video on that as well. Check it out. It's something to the effect of learn to feel energy. Go check that one out and practice it, because it's not a skill that you just like. None of the psychic abilities are things you pick up immediately overnight. These are things that you need to work at regularly in order to make incremental improvements, in order to get to the point where you're like, okay, I can feel energy. I do know who I'm talking to when a guide approaches. Okay, so I asked to feel her energy to see who she was exactly. And this is what I said. She radiates white light. All I can see is the light. She is like a star. It's a very clean energy. The light fades and I see a young, beautiful Asian woman in a headdress. Now, it's relevant that I call her energy clean because, like I said, you can feel light and you can feel dark and you can feel like all the shades in between, right? And her energy was very clean, and it's relevant because she's not an angel. Like an angel or an archangel, you'll never feel darkness. If you're talking to an angel or an archangel and you feel darkness, you're not talking to an angel or archangel. But with gods and goddesses, they're light and dark, as are ascended masters. So even though they're calling her a goddess, she is very much ascended master type energy because she's got very little dark where her energy just felt, like I said, clean. Um, so she appears to me like an Asian woman with a headdress. She walks slowly around me, keeping eye contact. And so it's like she was being all serious, like she's walking around me and she's just keeping her eyes on me as she walks around me, and like that would be intimidating. But my I for my heart, my energetic heart, I felt this tug like you love her. And so it's funny because your energy gets around other energies, and it doesn't matter that your mind can't remember. It doesn't matter that your mind has no recollection of this person. Your energy knows them. And so my energy was like, "Ooh, it's her." I'm excited. Uh, there's a tug at my heart. It is the love I have for her. It's my validation that I know this person. When I go back into the vision, I have a headdress on like hers, and she is encouraging me to look to the sky where her bright light has reappeared. So I have a headdress on just like hers now, and she's like, look up, and there's a bright white light. Everything is white, so much so that I can't even see her anymore. A rainbow starts moving towards me in a horizontal line. So it's almost like the rainbow is alive. It's almost like the rainbow is a snake or something. So the rainbow starts coming through the white light. The rainbow enters my third eye and stays there. This is not, oh, sorry. This is how I'm talking. This is not my body. I am someone else in this vision. So I'm recognizing from looking at myself that I don't look like this body. I look like someone else, but it's supposed to be me. So it's me in another lifetime or in another form. It's not me in this body. This is someone I've been before. I am a goddess. I feel total peace and calm in this form. I feel confident. I do not know which goddess I may be, but it does not matter. We are all one. And so as I'm typing, we are all one, I hear, which is crazy, I heard voices saying it with me in unison. We are all one. And that was like almost spooky because who else is talking? I mean, it's other gods and goddesses that were speaking, but it was kind of crazy to have that happen. There is a god and goddess collective that I am now connected to, thanks to White Tara's rainbow light in my third eye chakra. I feel so whole, so complete, fearless, peaceful, blissful. I am separate, and yet I know I belong with the whole. And there is contentment when I become aware of this connection. I am all of them. They are all me. And then when I write that, my human mind, because I'm still in a 3D body, even though I'm experiencing very spiritual, high vibrational thoughts, my mind is still in 3D. And so my mind panics a little bit when I say that because my mind, all of our minds, we all have an ego and we all want to feel separate in order to feel safe. There's something about the ego doesn't want to die. The ego does not want to die. So if you talk to the ego about merging back into the one, the ego's like, why would we want to do that? Because the ego doesn't want to disappear. um So I had a moment of fear, and so it actually dropped me out of my connection. So then I had to go back in again. So when I go back in, my headdress is gold. My dress is white and flowing. I am in the 12th dimension where the realm of the gods is. My vision is cloaked from seeing my surroundings, which this happens every time. Every time they take me into the 12th, they will show me things that are like symbolic. Like, I know I'm in the 12th because it looks stereotypical. It's like we're walking on clouds. There's clouds all around us. It's a lot of clouds and a lot of color, but that's not what's really there. They won't show me what's really there. I probably can't understand what's really there because I'm in 3D. So whatever I see is symbolic. White Tara parts the clouds at our feet. So we're walking on clouds. She parts them. And when she parts them, we can see Earth below us. She gestures for me to move towards the planet. So I'm like, all right. So I start going towards the planet, and she leads me into a particular spot on Earth. And so we land there, and I don't know where we are. I couldn't figure it out from the map. I'm not that great at geography either. My husband could have figured it out right away, but it's not my thing. So we land in this like crowded village, and I'm moving towards these homes that look like they're tents. And so I have to Google it because I'm like, I've seen these before. So I Google it, and they're called either yurts or gurs. So I was in Mongolia. It's cold. They have warm clothing on. Um, they've they have like clothing that's covering their head and their face. I see a man in particular, about my age. He has a family, and so I'm now looking into like a past lifetime. So this is me in Mongolia as a man. And me in that lifetime, I'm anxious about traveling. Apparently, we have to pack up our stuff and move somewhere. We are a nomadic group, but I have concerns for the safety of my family in the cold weather. I pray to White Tara. I beg her for compassion on us. I beg her for protection of my people. And so she steps forward for me in that lifetime, and she helps us. And it's so meaningful to me that I'm very um, loyal to her moving forward. So so after I had this vision, I had to Google White Tara again because I was like, Mongolia. It seemed really random to me. But it turns out, according to Google, she would have been a popular goddess in Mongolia, Tibet, and Nepal. So that was a really cool validation because it was such a specific vision. It was really cool to Google it and have it be validated. Um, I read and so as I'm on Google, and now I'm like poking around. I'm like, so what else is there about you that I should know? Because at first, when I first Googled her, I literally just Google her, and whatever kind of information comes up first, I'll ask the guide. I'll say, hey, is this true? Is this true? Is it like, do you want me to reference you as this? And a lot of times they'll be like, no, 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 yep, that. And so there was all these descriptions of her, but she chose compassionate and associated with the rainbow. So I was like, okay. And so now I'm like getting more into the Google search with her. I read that Tara is sometimes shown with eyes on her palms, soles of her feet, and her third eye. I read that this was a popular depiction of her in Mongolia, and that she was called Tara of the Seven Eyes. So I'm like, is this true? She's like over my shoulder reading my phone. She's like, yeah, no, that's true. And then so I asked her, okay, I'm like, does this mean something? Does this help in some way? Like, if there's third eye energy and it's on your palms and it's on your feet, is that beneficial in some way? And she's like, yes. And so I was playing around with her. This is what I do with the guides. So I was like, hey, how do we make this happen? Like, can you do this to me so I can see what that feels like to be you with your eyes on your palms and your feet? Um, and then so she reminds me of that rainbow light that came through and went into my third eye. And she's basically telling me um, that this is how that energetic marking takes place. So I was like, okay, so it's already here. Can you put the rainbow in my eyes, my palms, and my feet so that I can have this like Terra 7 eye thing going on like you? Um, So she puts it in my physical eyes, then my palms, then my feet. While this is happening, I see an increase in my clairvoyance. It was really crazy because my clairvoyance is, it's hard to explain because a lot of people think that clairvoyance means that like you can always see everything all around you all the time. And maybe it's like that for somebody, but it's absolutely not like that for me. My clairvoyance is only present when I tune into it. So if somebody is like, hey, can you look at, I could be talking to them and they could be like, hey, my back hurts. Can you look at my back energetically and see if you see something? I can do that. I can look and I can be like, okay, I see this or I don't see anything or whatever. Um, but I don't walk up to them talking to them and automatically know there's something in their back. Sometimes I know when there's attachments right away because you can see it through the eyes, but that's a different story. In general, my clairvoyance says I have to tune into it. So she gives me these third eyes all over me, and my clairvoyance increases. Oops, lost my spot. I see an increase in my clairvoyance as flashes of my spirit animals come in and out of my view. First a Pegasus and then a wolf. So it really, I don't know how to explain this to you guys because yes, I have psychic gifts, absolutely. But I'm also in a human body with this stupid mind that um second guesses everything, right? And that's part of being in the body. That's part of the struggle. That's not going to go away for any of us. We're never going to get to the point where we're like, yeah, I don't doubt, I don't second guess. So it was super cool for me to sit there. She's trying to give me stuff, stuff in my palms, stuff in my feet. And it's like, I see something. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, it's a Pegasus. And then I see a wolf. And I'm just like, that's crazy because I'm not thinking about those. And they came by. And so that was just wild. And I know they're always there. And this is the truth for all of us. Our spirit guides are always around us. Like your spirit animals are always with you. They don't just like show up just because you call them in. Like most of your guides are always with you. They're the ones that there are certain ones that are not always with you that you don't normally talk to, and then so those when you call to them, they kind of come forward like the way White Tara does. I don't. Were you hanging out? No, she wasn't hanging out with me before that. Um, but most of our guides are always around us. We just aren't able to tune into them well enough to know that. Okay. My inner ears hurt, like something is being pushed out of them. And so I was like, hey, whatever this is, can you get rid of this? Because this doesn't feel comfortable. She starts with the right ear, and as she pulls it out, it was so gross. I'm sorry, guys. I tell you everything. I tell you everything because why not? So she's pulling something out of my ear, and whatever it was, I could feel it connected like down my throat. And as she pulls it out, I was like, oh, am I gonna gag? Like it was weird. There was a strong physical reaction with it. Um, so she ends up clearing both my ears, and then at the end, I cough. Just so you know, coughing, sneezing, burping. I know I'm forgetting something. Yawning. All of those are physical reactions that allow your guides to remove a lower vibrational entity or thing, I'm just going to say, from you. So if you're just minding your own business and all of a sudden you start coughing or you start sneezing, there's a good chance there's something in your energy that doesn't belong there. And either your guides have made you, how does this work? Okay, it's the process of them removing this energy that causes your physical body to have that response. So it's not every time. Is it every, right? It's not every time. Yeah. It's not every time you sneeze, cough, burp, yawn, but there's a good chance. Anyways, so I coughed afterwards because I was clearing something. So sorry, this is my big, huge, long intro into White Tara, because that's what happened. So after this, I asked her, "Hey, are you ready to channel?" And she says, "Yes. I removed more than you realize. It will take time to acclimate to having them removed from your energy." And I'm like, what was it? What were they? And then so I'm like asking her questions of different energies that I already am aware of. She kept saying no. And um when I communicate with guides, they don't always communicate in words verbatim. A lot of times they communicate in ideas. And so the idea she gave me was, when I asked her, what were they? It was an idea that came across like poison. I don't know exactly what words I'll end up using for it, but she said poison. And she said, I can teach you about them later. And when she said that, I remembered I tapped in for a brief second into whatever past experience I've had with her where I was like, oh, she's such a good teacher. I remember loving having her as a teacher, as a healing guide, as someone who knows magic. She is patient and knowledgeable. This is not how she is described on the internet. um, but I can feel her, White Tara, as both like this motherly energy because of the compassion I feel from her, but also like a wisdom from her. I remember her and I enjoyed working with her. Okay, now we're going to get into the channeled message, which is for everybody. She says, there is so much to learn about us and our world, meaning the gods and the goddesses and their world or their space being like the realm of the gods. There is so much to learn about us and our world than what is already available. Most do not channel themselves, they merely repeat what is already known, which is a very narrow and one-dimensional view of such dynamic energy. So she's referencing what you find on the internet, and that most people are like cutting and pasting what someone else has channeled at one point. People aren't going in themselves and getting fresh information. And she's like, we're not being described well enough. We are these dynamic energies. She says, can you imagine if someone tried to describe you in one or two sentences? It is not possible. The whole truth can only be found in your own interactions with us, your own understanding of our energy. So the way she was saying this to me, I start channeling, I start writing down this information. I say she is showing passion and spunk when she says these things. I see flames in her eyes and I feel youth from her, like she is my big sister. Yet, she still maintains a grounding energy, a spiritual maturity, while she dabbles in other aspects of herself. I understand that she is doing this as a demonstration for all of us. She can be compassionate and motherly, and young and fiery all at once. She is holding multiple energies at once, and it is layered and nuanced and complex and intriguing. Depth in someone's energy is always more interesting in the spiritual world and the physical world, I think. But I wrote, it's more interesting in the spiritual world than a more straightforward and simple energy. So she's giving me more messages. She says, she speaks to all of us. You are more than your most common traits. Do not be afraid to add more to yourself, to be an enigma, to be a paradox, to be more than you are currently comfortable with. You can simultaneously hold opposite energies and be true to both. You do not need to pick one or the other, right or left, black or white, this or that. You are a multidimensional being parading around in a binary world, trying hard to fit in the many molds required of you. Yet, this is part of the illusion. You bring about evolution for yourself and your planet when you allow yourself to be bigger than what is easily categorized. You can be a leader and gentle. You can be ambitious and feminine. You can be wise and playful. You can be passionate and compassionate. Explore new depths for yourself and unlock new possibilities. This is the end of her message. So she is calling us to bring in she said it perfectly in the message. She's showing me pictures though right now, which makes it hard because then I'm trying to translate. She's showing me, I like the way you did that. I wish I had an example. I really don't have an example. Imagine a gemstone. Imagine a giant gemstone and imagine that it's been cut, it has all these different facets all the way around it. And as you turn it, it sparkles and it's beautiful. So one of those facets is basically like what you're showing the world right now. You're like, yeah, I'm so-and-so. This is my name. If you ask my friends how I am, they would describe me in these ways. And she's like, but you're this whole thing. She's like, so start adding some of these other facets. Start incorporating these because as you tap into more of yourself, you tap into more of your godhood or your goddesshood, you start tapping into infinite possibilities as you step out of the little tiny box that we're all currently in. Because we all live on Earth and we've all been told, like, okay, you can be feminine, but you can't be feminine and masculine. You have to choose, right? It's a binary world. You have to choose. No, we don't. No, we don't. Quit. She's like, quit making this world binary. That's the illusion. That's not truth. So quit feeling like you have to label and categorize yourself easily. Start expanding what you allow yourself to be in order to gain the benefits and the power from doing so. Okay, this is everything I have for you today. I will have messages 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 later this month, so be on the lookout for them. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.